Oh, there it goes.
There it goes. I can get my button to work.
Hey, friends.
Hi.
We have a lot of fun, just so you know. So we hope you guys love this too. And those of you who are just listening, like you guys can see it's me, but my voice like just sounds.
It's a little off.
It's a little off, but I feel pretty good.
You sound fine. It's okay.
Yeah. So well, that's life.
All right, we'll get started. I'll start for you this time.
Okay, thanks.
Hey guys, welcome back to Call to Homeschool. We are on episode number 32. Is that correct?
Yes. This is exciting.
It is exciting. I can't believe how many we've done.
I know, it's been a ton of fun. And I was thinking, well, as we build up closer to our year mark, we need to do something extra special.
That would be fun.
So, I don't know. Tell us, send us your suggestions of, this is what I'm dying for you girls to tell me.
Sounds like a good plan.
I don't know.
So today we have something extra special for you. Meg started this really cool challenge.
I'm calling it a revolution.
A revolution.
A revolution.
I like that even better.
Yes.
It should be a revolution. And she's calling it No Yell November.
Yes.
Isn't that catchy? I just love it.
Because that's what, how many times do we talk about all my catchy phrases, right? Like
she's
Minute
good at
with
'em.
Mom and Awesome Club and all sorts of weird things that I do. So yes, we're going to do No Yell November.
How many of you guys yell at your kids?
Have you? I don't know. Do you?
I do a little bit.
Yeah. So to be honest, I used to be a yeller, and so you grow up and a lot of times you take on some of the personality traits of your parents.
Yeah.
And my parents were yellers, and so when I got married and I had my kids, that's what I did, and I didn't like it. And I remembered how much I disliked being yelled at as a child. And I thought, why am I recreating something that I really didn't like? And so anyways, I worked really hard and I don't yell anymore. And so it's kind of like my weight loss plan for yelling, right? like it's possible. It's all I want to say.
I think that's amazing. I want to get there. So
Yeah.
I'm going to try this challenge this month and see how I do.
So it was cute. I asked my daughter, I didn't want to be the liar and be like, do I actually yell at you guys and I don't realize it? And my daughter said, well, sometimes you're like, Tess, come and eat dinner. And I go, okay, that's when I yell. And she goes, yeah, like when you need us to come and eat, or like, hey, we're going, everybody, let's go. But not like yelling, like saying
just being loud to get their attention.
Yes.
Yes.
And so I thought, okay, good. I wanted to make sure that I'm not being oblivious, that I'm actually yelling at them or something. So anyways, I'm really excited about this today. So, Karen, why do we yell? What do you think?
Well, for me, I don't yell at my husband, but I do yell at my kids from time to time. And for me, it comes out of frustration in the moment. And it's a lack of self-control, I think, on my part of just not stopping for a second and controlling my feelings.
Thank you for being vulnerable. Sometimes you want to say well, I don't yell.
Oh, I do.
Oh yeah. So I just first of all, thank you for being vulnerable with that. Nobody, we're all human, right? And so this is just one of the areas that I've really worked on. Yeah. And so thank you for being willing to be
real,
right? So we can yell when we're scared, because my kids love to jump out at me. They scared me half to death the other day in the complete pitch black and Halloween costume somebody got me.
Okay, really side note. Just reminds me of a story as a kid, and I probably shouldn't laugh at this because it's terribly mean. But we had this spiral staircase in our house growing up where you could reach through the steps.
Oh my gosh, I already hate
And
this
my
story.
mom had this recurring nightmare where she was running upstairs and something would grab her ankles, and she told us about it. And because she told us about it, her mistake first, we started doing that to her.
Oh my gosh.
And it's the meanest thing, and we would think it was the funniest thing, but it would make her scream every time. And I'm sorry, Mom.
Yeah, your mom's like a saint.
She really is, actually.
My kids so we have an older home, and we have this pantry with no door on it.
Oh, yeah.
And so it used to have a drape, and every time I'd walk by, I'd punch it, just in case, they're going to be in there, and the drape got torn off or something, and so now they have to crouch down, and they got me again the other day, and I was like, why do you guys keep doing this to me?
Because you give a good reaction.
I know, because that reaction's so awesome. You also yell a lot of times when you get hurt.
Yeah.
Right? Drop something on your foot. You stub your toe, it's the worst pain on this planet.
It is the worst.
It is so bad. It's I'm okay. I'm not gonna cry. But I hit my head the other day, and I was trying not to cry. And I was like, you're a grown woman. You don't need to cry, right? But so we can yell for those reasons. And then sometimes we yell at people.
Yeah.
We can yell if someone cuts us off, yell at our husbands, yell at family members, and yell at our children. So the no yell, no yell, that's hard to say fast. No yell November is about not yelling at anybody, but I'm going to be specifically giving tools for children.
Okay.
Because we're homeschool moms and you're with them day in and day out. And I see, because I used to do it, right? I see how easy it is to just be like, I know I gotta yell to get crap done.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
A lot of times we yell too because we believe it will give us the result we want. And we want it quick. That's our society, right? We want it now.
If someone didn't listen the first time, then you yell the second time.
Yeah, like I got
listen
the result,
this time, right?
Right? And or we yell because we're hurting. Like I was frustrated about something, and then someone else comes along, and I snap at them.
Yeah.
Even that's not the person I'm mad at.
Yeah.
So let's talk about yelling. How do you feel, Karen? I guess have you ever been yelled at recently? I don't even know. Is that a vulnerable question?
No, I don't think I have been yelled at recently, but I feel like it's kind of the same thing when someone, like for instance with my blog, I was just telling Megan that I just got this nasty comment from someone. And it kind of feels the same. It's like this biting thing where you're like, oh, how could they say that unkind thing to me? And it feels like yelling. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Yeah. But I hate being yelled at. When I was a kid and I was yelled at, it always made me cry.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you. So let's pretend you're out with a friend and you're eating lunch and you're having a lovely time and you're talking, and Karen and I we're out and we're eating and we're having a good time, and then all of a sudden I lose my mind and I just start screaming at Karen, and I'm like, oh my gosh, why are you eating that way? And you're such a messy eater. Clean up after yourself. Why are you doing this? Are you going to want to go out to lunch with me very often?
Nope.
No, right? And so if Karen and I are going out to lunch or dinner, we done dinner, but lunch feels crazy to go out to, doesn't it?
It doesn't really happen as a homeschool mom.
No, it doesn't, not very often. But we've gone out to dinner and we had a lovely time. But if Karen or Rich, her husband, started yelling at us, or if Johnny and I started yelling at you guys, we probably aren't going to hang out.
No.
Because it's like, ooh, they're crazy.
It would probably sever a relationship.
Right? Or like, okay, they're Christmas card friends.
Yeah.
And then, so if you have a friend that yells at you, you don't have to continue that friendship, right? If you have a husband who yells, we could get into deeper issues with this, but just on the surface level, if you have this really belligerent husband who's just yelling at you all the time, you could leave. You can, you're an adult and you could leave the situation. Right. So the reason I'm focusing on children is because as a child, when a child is being yelled at, they don't have the options that adults do.
Right.
They can't leave.
They're still in their home.
They're stuck there.
Yeah.
And so they're stuck there.
And they have to listen to you.
Yes. And so what happens when you're stuck with somebody who's yelling at you randomly, inconsistently, like you feel powerless.
Right.
You may actually run away. To be honest, I totally ran away as a kid, right? I hated that contention. I didn't like to be yelled at. And then you're stuck and you don't know what to do, and the behavior problem usually gets worse because they feel so stuck. There is no out. Well,
and it's not gonna, you just think of the deeper problems that's gonna cause and how they're gonna feel about you and about your relationship. When I yell at my kids, I try very hard to then apologize, because I know that I'm in the wrong and I don't want them to think that I don't love them or that they have, caused these problems. It's usually just me and my reaction to something, and so you want to think of the deeper issues that you're causing.
Well, that goes right into my next thought, is a short-term result of okay, I yelled and my kid did what I wanted him to do, but it has long-term consequences.
Definitely.
And so if you think of a fad diet, I remember, I think it was probably when we were high school age or right after, is when Fen came out. So that'd be 20 years ago. And a lot of people hopped on this Fen diet and were just dropping weight left and right, but it messed up people's hearts. Yeah. For the rest of their life, they have heart murmurs, a hole in their heart. And so yes, they lost the weight, but at what cost?
Right.
Right? Your heart, that's a big one. It's not oh, I got a zit. You know what I mean? It's it's a really important organ, right? And so your short-term result wasn't worth the long-term consequence. So the same with yelling. You may get them to clean their room, or you may get them to hurry and get their schoolwork done, but there are some long-term consequences.
Definitely.
So sorry, I have to clear my throat. There we go. So first of all, you're not going to feel as connected. because you don't feel safe.
Yeah.
Right? Like, what version of mom am I going to get? That's just the long and short of it, right?
It is true.
It usually makes the problem worse. Like, I don't really care what you have to say because you're just yelling all the time, right? So whatever you're yelling at about, I'm going to use clean your room. Like, clean your room is like, why? Like, why do you care? You know, like, you don't care about me. All you do is yell at me. And this one I found, it changes the way your kid's brain develops. And I read a lot about this with children who've been abused. And my husband and I have been studying about this. And when a child is abused, so I'm not saying yelling is abuse, just to make that clear. When a child is abused, their brain doesn't develop and reach their IQ level.
Oh, wow.
And they've done these massive studies on a child that it almost handicaps their emotional maturity. So if you're abused a lot, you may tap out at an emotional maturity of a 13-year-old. Now, the hope is you can actually, as you become an adult and learn the emotions and all those things, you can then reach your IQ level.
Wow, that's fascinating.
I know, right? Because I thought it was a great study. Excuse me. But that's, like, that is hope, like, to say if there has been abuse, that your child can reach their potential, or you, if you were abused, right?
So just a little extra I want to add in.
Yeah,
I think
please.
when the more often you yell, the less your children are going to react and listen. Because if it's happening so regularly and you think, I have to yell to get their attention, they're going to have less of a reaction. It's like going to have the opposite. Right.
Like
you need like a higher
alcohol.
hit.
You need more pornography. You need more
but that's exactly
chocolate.
what I've noticed is, you know, if I'm in a higher state of anxiety or whatever, if I'm more sensitive and I'm yelling more often, they don't listen as well as you think they will. It's going to be less sensitive to them.
Yeah. So, and then the last one is you probably are going to create a yeller, right? Like, I'm sure there are TV shows, but like your kids could be yelling and then you're like, everybody quit yelling, right?
Oh, I have done that. I have been that. Yes.
Right? Like, do as I say, not as I do.
And it always makes me laugh.
Like, afterwards it's like, oh, what did I just say, right? So just on a side note, you cannot ruin your child. Only they have that power, right? You are not Christ, you are not the creator, but you can make their life more difficult. And so with all the obstacles and the hard things in life, try not to be one of them.
Right.
And so, like, just know, like, your kid is not going to be damned or like ruined or going to end up in drugs and all these things. Like, they ultimately have their agency how they show up. So I want to make sure you're not like sitting there going, oh no, I've messed up my kid, right? Like, no, only they can do that. Okay, so what do? Just don't talk to your kids?
I know, that's the thing. I'm like, okay, this sounds all lovely, but how do you stop?
Okay, so those of you who follow us on YouTube, you'll see us do this. And those of you who listen to us, I want you to try this. Okay, Karen, I want you to fold your arms.
Oh, all right.
Okay, so Karen has her right arm on top, and now I want you to put your left arm on top. How does that feel?
It's awkward and hard.
Yeah. Right? Because it's that habit. You've just trained your brain, like, this is the way I fold my arms. My right arm's on top, my left arm. And to switch, she had to think about it, right? And so do I, to get the other arm on top.
Yeah.
But if you sat and practiced over and over again, it wouldn't be hard.
Right.
So our mind likes to do what's ever easiest. If you're driving somewhere, right, and you're like, I always drive on this road when I'm going to the grocery store, but you're going on that road to do something else, you'll still go to the grocery store, right? Yes. So it kind of goes into that autopilot, and so you're literally just going to retrain your brain.
Okay.
So I've had some health issues, and I found a really great brain doctor, and he's helping me retrain my brain with health stuff. And he says it takes 3 months to retrain your brain. So I just think that's hope. That's short amount of time.
Yeah.
And that means within the 3 months, it's getting healed. I don't know the right word to use right there, but it's starting to rewire
in the
itself.
process.
Yes, so that it doesn't mean like it could be a month and a half in that it starts to become easier to not do this type of stuff, right? And kind of to change that behavior. So this is what I hear. But Meg, my kids are so frustrating. My kids are so annoying. My kids are lazy.
They don't listen.
They don't listen to me.
Yes.
Have any of us ever said those words?
No, not me.
We're perfect. So I like the analogy of, would you give, so Karen's little Millie, is she 5 or 6?
She's 5.
She's 5. She's adorable. And she has like so much life to her. I think kids
Yes.
like that, I love them.
Uh-huh.
I think they have so much energy. I just love them. So cute little Millie, would you ever give her the keys to your car?
Oh, no.
What about even Brennan, who's responsible? Like, go wild on Amazon. Here's my credit card.
No. Mm-mm.
So why in the world do we give our child our emotions? Right? Like, think of yourself as their puppy, and they have you on the little leash, and like, I'm gonna do this because then I get the reaction from mom.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And so you wouldn't give them these other things that they're not ready for. They're not ready for car keys. They're not ready for even a credit card, right? They're not ready, maybe even like a movie or something like
Right.
that. Like maybe even a more mature book. They're not ready for those things. And so they don't have the maturity to be in charge of your emotions,
Yeah.
right? So I'm going to put that back onto the mom. Like, they're not in charge. You're in charge of your emotions.
That's an interesting way to think of it. I've never thought of it that way.
Oh my gosh, I'm just so full of so many good ideas. No, I thought of it the other day as John and I were chatting, and I thought, so my big boys are driving, but even my Bella, who's 15, I'm like, I would not like trust her to just go out and drive because she's with me by her side.
Yes.
Well, actually, to be honest, I told her she had to get her permit first. But Dad will take her to the church parking lot, and so by his side, he's mentoring her. So isn't it great that now you'd be mentoring your kids?
Yes.
That like mom's in charge of her emotions, you're in charge of your emotions. So your brother can't make you mad, your sister can't be annoying. Like you get to be in control of that.
Oh, yes.
So
I like that.
So let's get like, how do you actually get started? So it's like, okay, I gotta retrain my brain. I gotta do all these things. I gotta be in charge. Yeah. So first you gotta do like, get a clear picture of what you want for your family in your head. So Karen, if you were like, okay, this is what I want for my family, because Brennan is 15.
Almost, yeah.
Oh yeah, almost, sorry.
2 weeks.
Oh yeah, sorry, I just knew it was close.
Yep.
What, like in 5 years, he's 20. So what do you want your family to look like in 5 years?
So I'll have a 10-year-old,
Yeah,
13-year-old, and what's else? 12, 17-year-old,
and a 20-year-old.
and a 20-year-old. The 20-year-old will not be home anymore.
No.
I would hope.
Yeah.
Right? Well, I mean, happy. I want them happy, and I want them making good choices, and I want peace.
Yeah, and probably that they still come around,
Yeah, definitely.
and maybe that you still do fun things together as
Yeah.
a family. So if you're in basketball and you don't know where the hoop is, it doesn't matter where you throw the ball, right? So if you don't know what you want for your family, then it doesn't matter what you do. So getting that clear picture, like you can decide this as a family, you can decide this for yourself,
Yeah.
but like what do we actually want,
Yeah.
so that now we have an aim.
I like that a lot. That reminds me of that exercise we did in our mom's class,
Which
where the teacher was talking about just picturing your family. I think it was 10 years out.
Oh, okay.
And it was a holiday, and what would you like this holiday to look like?
Yeah.
And you're hosting the event, and it was really beautiful. I remember just kind of being in tears thinking about it, because 10 years from now, my parents would be gone. And so most likely,
Like passed away?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
was like,
possibly. Maybe it was
or-
20 years. I don't even remember. It was a long period of time, so to the point where I was like, my parents would probably be gone,
Okay.
not around anymore. And so hosting the family event has always fallen on them, and now it would probably fall on me or one of my siblings, and it would just really shift things. And I want those Christmas holidays and those special days to look like what they looked like for me growing up, to be happy, to be joyful, to be surrounded with love, and just times that you remember, memories made. And it was just a neat thing to think about. So it makes you really think about, down the road, what do you picture things?
Well, yes, and then you can be much more intentional when you know what your direction is. So very first, get clear. What do you want your family to look like? Like, do you want everybody watching a movie and people on their phone and checked out, like arguing over politics? I think homeschool's the best. I think homeschool's the worst, right? Like, or do you want it like, oh, you're homeschooling, that's so neat. I loved my journey with homeschooling. Do you need any tips? I'll totally help you, right?
Right.
Like, I'm being over the top, but like, what do you actually want, and to get that clear picture so you know the aim. So what I like to do after you get that really clear picture, then you can kind of figure your own path out.
Yeah.
When we started this, I was very open with my kids. We do family meeting every week, and I can't recommend that enough. And it's awesome. But we came and I said, I'm out. Like, I don't want to yell and I don't want to get mad at anybody anymore. And I apologize for the past times. And like, I'm human and I make mistakes. And honestly, I may do it again. But no, like from the bottom of my heart, I'm trying to get better. And then you can do something where we did this with something else. We made it a family challenge. And we picked everybody's weakness. That probably sounds vicious, but it was kind of cool.
That's cool.
But we did like somebody who struggled with swearing. Like they couldn't swear during the time. Mine was struggling with being a victim, and it was so funny.
Oh.
I didn't even realize I did it.
That's interesting. Yeah.
But like, I guess
So did other people choose the weakness that you?
Yes.
Oh, that's hard.
Because I was like, yours is swearing, yours is this, and then they looked at me and said, yours is playing the victim. I was like, oh, I would never do that. I'm never the victim. And it was like this totally funny.
That is funny.
But it brought awareness to everybody. And then we did a chart, but I thought a simple way is you could get a jar, and if you don't yell that day, you put a pebble in.
Okay.
So like Karen has 4 kids, and herself and her husband, if they're all on board, like I didn't yell today, so that could be 7 stones. I just did the math wrong. 6.
6. It's okay.
That's all right. I didn't write the math book. So like each day you could do it, and we've done like jars, and you can earn going out to the movies all together because I'm cheap. So like my kids are like, yes, that would be super fun.
That's fun for us too.
So then it's this camaraderie. We're working together. We're a family that doesn't yell.
Yeah.
You may slip up. Like you're totally human. And just, I think diet analogies are so easy. Like if you are on a diet and you go and eat a piece of cake, it doesn't mean like,
No, you just only eat cake.
Yeah, you don't just eat cake and you don't hate yourself. And you're not the worst person on this planet. It means you ate cake, right?
And then you just don't now. Again.
Yeah, and now your tummy hurts, right? And so, excuse me. So if you mess up and you yell, like own it. I chose to yell. I chose to yell because I chose to. Not because you did this, not because you're frustrated, not because this didn't go the way I wanted to, but I chose to yell because I chose to and apologize and move on. And so I have like, because it kind of sounds like that I'm saying that you're going to live in this fairyland, like everybody's just getting along.
Right, no, I don't envision that.
But like negative emotions pop up, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, this was last night. I just sat and like, the whole night. Like, I'm not coughing, I'm just like clearing my throat, so I apologize. But like you just have negative emotions. It's part of being a human, right? You're gonna feel frustrated sometimes. You're gonna be tired sometimes. The other night I didn't sleep great, and I was just tired. And kids are gonna spill stuff and all these things, and it's not to pretend like everything's fine. Like I'm not gonna yell at you, but it's learning how to actually feel that negative emotion, process it without taking it out on your kids.
Yeah.
And so on my website, you can download a free book I have called Fight, Flight, or Freeze. And that will teach you how to process the emotion, which is great because then you can teach your kids how to do it. And then the last part, like this is a process, right?
Definitely, yeah.
Like
Think of anything that you're learning.
Yes, well, anything that lasts. Right? Any of those fad things or something that's a quick fix or a quick hit, they don't last.
Right.
And I want long-term results. And so what I'm doing for this month is I'm offering a free support group on Facebook. And it's literally called #NoYellNovember. And you can just search it or send me an email and I'll add you. Or if you don't have Facebook, what some people have done is just emailed me and I'll email them the videos.
Oh, that's
so
cool.
that I'm helping you the whole month, right? Like this was the surface, and then we can get down a little bit deeper and stuff like that. And then I want everybody to post about your success, and like, or even like I messed up, but I'm gonna do better tomorrow. And just use the #NoYellNovember.
I love it. It's a great idea.
Yeah, so I'm really excited about this. And if you want like extra help, like seriously, Meg, I yell at my kids every day. I don't think I can change. You totally can. So you can hit me up for a consult, and like I will totally just hold your hand and walk you through the process.
You can follow me. I'll be trying too.
I know, I'm excited. Carmen will be in the group too.
I'll be there.
Yeah,
Yes.
so-
You can hear my sad stories when I mess up.
But you can see that we're human, and we're just like, we're trying to do our best, and every day we do a little bit better. We compare ourselves, right, to who we are today instead of no, I said it wrong. Compare yourself to who you were yesterday, not to who somebody else is today.
Yes.
So this was a process for me. It took a lot of practice, and it was literally intentionally showing up and choosing how I wanted to respond versus just going to that, I've heard of like reptilian brain or that lower brain, like all the other phrases, but it's that habit. And it's just now it's like, oh, this is my new habit. This is what I do now. So anyway, I'm super excited. I should shout, no, you're November! But no. So
come join in the challenge with us.
Yeah, we're excited. And
The revolution.
The revolution. Yes, I like it. Like moms are taking over the world.
Definitely.
All right, you lovely women. I hope to see you in the group because it's just fun.
Thanks for listening today.
Yeah, we'll see you guys next week.
Bye-bye.